Here is a quick PSA. We're noticing a lot of people on social media are being scammed by fake tiny home companies. Here's what to look for to make sure that you're working with a legitimate tiny home company. So a lot of people are seeing these really beautiful homes and they're under $50,000 and they think, man, that's a really good deal. I'm excited for this. And they just dive right in and pay a deposit and then they get ghosted and never hear from the company again. So to start, a lot of the time these houses are just way too good of a deal to be true. For $50,000, you can get a tiny home, but it is not the crazy spec'd out ones that some of these companies are claiming you can get for $15,000 or $20,000. Tiny homes are definitely affordable, but they're not that insanely cheap. Just that is not a thing. Second, most builders are going to require about 50% upfront to begin the project. They're not going to take just some small down payment. So look for that. A lot of times they're asking for $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 down, and that's the scam. They take that money and run. Also, most of the companies are going to be based in the USA. You want to make sure they actually have a physical location in the United States and are making these in the United States. And most Americans are not using WhatsApp for business communications. That's another big sign for scammers if they're trying to get you to communicate on WhatsApp. Speaking of that, it's really good to make sure that the manufacturer or the dealer that you're talking with can do video tours of the house while you're interested in purchasing it. They don't just have random stock photos or photos that they stole from a legitimate business. So be on the lookout for that and try to get a video chat with them if you're not going to go in and actually check the spot out in person. And it's tricky because a lot of these accounts look very legitimate and they will have a bunch of different profiles that are all talking to each other on social media and make it look like it's a very legitimate company. And they'll respond and they act friendly and stuff like that. But in the end of the day, they're actually not a legit company. It's crazy how deep that rabbit hole goes. So at the end of the day, if you think the deal is a little too good to be true or it just doesn't feel right, it probably is a scam. Be careful out there. There's a surprising amount of scammers in the tiny home space, which is kind of crazy because this is such a fun and good space to be able to provide affordable housing. And the fact that there's people out there taking advantage of this is kind of wild to me. And the social media platforms are doing nothing to crack down on it because as soon as one account gets shut down, then they just open up another one and repeat the process. So be on the lookout. Be careful. If you have any questions or need any anything cross-referenced, please let us know. We're more than happy to help any way we can. And yeah, stay safe out there.
Toilet there, and another toilet here.
We are currently living in the trailer, but we did live in the tiny house for 3 months while we remodeled the trailer, and honestly, it was unbearable. Let me show you. As you can see, there is pretty much zero storage in here. There's no countertop. Every time I was making dinner, it was such a hassle. All those two shelves, this one is way too high. Can't really store anything. I also don't have any real kitchen cabinets. And my parents-in-law will be spending 6 months here. I want them to feel like they're not living in a shed. Yes, it's a 10 by 24 shed turned into a tiny house. But that does not mean that you have to feel like you're living in one, right? It's just no storage, no closet, no nothing. So the only thing where you can put your clothes is this 3 little compartment thingy and then under the bed. That's just no way to live. So my plan is to put also some high cabinets next to the bed, maybe some hanging storage and some hanging cabinets on top of the bed. I don't think there's anything I can do in this bathroom. That's just what it is. I mean, that's just the first thing that came to my mind. I'm pretty sure there's 1 million more things that I hate about living in a tiny house. It wasn't that bad, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I would not recommend buying a shell as a tiny home.
My husband said I'm very ungrateful. Me, ungrateful, okay? He bought me a house and I didn't like it. Yes, I did not like the house. I told him, the house is too small. I do not like it. And he started going off on me. He goes, you know what, Jessica, you're very ungrateful. I cannot believe that, I even put a brand new roof on it and everything. And you are so ungrateful. Yeah, but the house is so tiny that what's going to fit in there, first off? Okay? What is going to fit in there? I'm going to show you guys the house. You guys are probably like, you are ungrateful. But you're gonna agree with me, or you better agree with me. Right here, this is the house. I don't even have a door. Like, are you serious? He goes, oh, I built a new roof and everything. And yeah, where's the door, guy? Where's the door? In fact, I was sitting on top of this while I was recording. What house did you buy me again? Because yeah. So yeah, tell me I'm ungrateful. Go, tell me I'm ungrateful.
Hello, this is Erica with Northwest Tiny Homes, and this is our newest home on the lot, the Aspen Bunkhouse. Come check it out. We get asked all the time if we have any 2-bedroom options, and this is our first 2-bedroom option on the lot. What makes it so cool too is that you have the option to add a loft like we've done here, or you can keep it single level. This is our living room space. You would normally get a built-in entertainment center here on this wall. We opted out of that, but it is an option by default if you like it. And then we have this dining room area here in the corner. Tons of nice window light throughout this main living space in the front part of the home. This is the second bedroom, and I know it's small, but it is mighty. So we are setting it up as an office. We have our little pet bed here right by the lower window as well. You can get built-in bunks that would have that lower window kind of where the lower bunk is. So you can get that if you do want to use it as a true bunk room. Otherwise, you can use it like we have as a flex space, an office, extra closet room, whatever your heart desires.
I live in a tiny home, and here are 5 reasons why I hate it. Number 1, since it's only 399 square feet, I hear every single noise that goes on outside. So if a tiny tree branch falls, I hear it, and it sounds like it's in the house. Number 2 is the water heater. My shower literally only gets hot for like 5 minutes. After that, it's cold because it only fits such a small water heater. I haven't looked into it to see if I can make the water heater bigger, but I need to do that ASAP because it's horrible. Number 3 is the AC. So I have 2 mini splits, one in the downstairs bedroom and then one in the living room area right by the staircase. And I'm a hot sleeper, so I would have wished that I would have gotten the other mini split inside of the loft area where I'm sleeping because I have to have a fan directly on me. Number 4 is it took me forever to figure out how I could get Wi-Fi inside of my house because I was using my parents' Wi-Fi, and since the top of the roof is metal, it was very hard to share the Wi-Fi even though I'm so close to my parents. So I had to buy a specific thing and figure it out. But for a long time, it would cut in and out, and I would never have any Wi-Fi or service.
Whoa, you are big.
This is another illusion.
If this is the first time you're seeing my face, my name is Misty, and I transitioned from a traditional home to a tiny home this year, and I'm going to talk about one reason that I feel like I made a major mistake. And while I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to sit here and have my cold brew coffee out on my front porch on a summer afternoon, enjoying this nice Texas weather. Now back to the reason why I think I made a major mistake, and it's probably not what you're thinking. The one thing that I feel like I failed in is not doing this sooner. I mean, seriously, not doing this sooner, not downsizing and getting rid of all of the needless things and stuff in my life, and, you know, creating a smaller space for me to thrive. I really feel like I'm thriving in this, and there is not a day that has gone by in the almost 2 months that I have moved in that I feel like I made a mistake. So if this is even on your radar, if you have ever thought about downsizing to a tiny home, if you don't know where to start, if you're in the process of it, whatever it is, I'm just here to encourage you that, you know, I had a little bit of apprehension when I signed the closing papers on my home that I had built for me because I loved it. And I thought, Misty, what are you doing? But since the moment I walked through the doors of this house, I have felt nothing but complete and utter contentment. I mean, when I tell you, it is so nice to be able to have a place where I have everything that I need in close proximity and not have to worry about, you know, cleaning a big area or having a whole lot of upkeep on the outside, or it's so relaxing. It's so relaxing. And I'm not even saying that this is something that you can only do if you're single. I think this would be perfect for a couple as well, especially if you're nearing retiring age or if you have the desire to travel, whatever. I mean, I could go on and on, but that is the one mistake and regret that I have, is that I didn't do it sooner. So, cheers.
I be trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to warn you, unless you can do the electrician work, the plumbing work, and all the carpentry yourself, please don't try to get one of those tiny shed conversions or the shipping container conversions. It takes a lot of skill to make that into a home. You have to do the insulation, you have to do the drywall, you have to do all of the plumbing, you have to do all the electrical work, you have to do the flooring, you have to get appliances in there, and you have to get furniture. It ends up being a lot more money than it's worth. When you can get an RV that's ready to go, move-in ready, all of your appliances, all of your electricity done, everything, and it's move-in ready. And it's probably going to be less than the price it's going to take for you to convert that tiny shed, and a whole lot less sweat equity to get it done. So do your research. And that goes for the schoolies too. Schoolies are very expensive to make, and they take a lot of time and a lot of skill. So really do your research before you decide to do that. A mobile home or an RV may be a better option.
Love you. I'm just gonna shut the door so I can get some peace and quiet.
Yeah, love you.
Yeah, so have y'all heard of Tesla tiny homes? Because I didn't until the other day. My dad said as soon as my grandfather passes away and we get the inheritance that we're getting, well, he's getting, he wants to bulldoze our house and replace it with 2 Tesla tiny homes. Red flags everywhere in that statement. I was like, I know we need to replace the house because it's falling apart. He has no idea I'm trying to move out. But in the end, it is my land when he passes on. So I want a house with a basement on it. And then I can, like, turn the land into a, brain fart. Homestead. I want a homestead. But I also want a basement. Anyway, that's what I want. But you can't really do that with a tiny home. Well, not the basement part anyway. The homestead, yes. But he was telling me about these Tesla tiny homes and how they look like Airstreams. And I was like, that doesn't sound real. So last night I was waiting on Sims 3 to load. And I was like, you know what? Time to Google that tiny home thing Dad was talking about. The Google AI, which I hate, and Reddit, which I don't hate, both said that the Tesla tiny homes don't exist. And also the Tesla website doesn't say anything about them either. So, yeah, I found out the truth last night, told Dad, protected him from a scam, protected my future land from being foreclosed on because of a scam. So that's good.
Black people don't want tiny homes. Black people don't want tiny homes. Black people don't want to live in trailers. Black people don't want to live in a remodeled bus. I'm so tired of trying to sell me this idea that living minimalistically is exactly what everybody should be. No, that is privilege. The only reason you're okay with living like that is because you went your whole life with excess, too much, extra, a lot. Man, I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment with 3 siblings, 2 parents, and a whole bunch of aunties and uncles living with me at any given point. Do not try and regulate me to a box. That sounds like prison.
Do you want to know a funny story? So my uncle is a little out there, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, I had to turn on the lamp because y'all couldn't see my face good. So like I was saying. So anyway, my uncle, he's into them hippy dippy trippy girls, you know what I'm saying? So one of them owned one of them tiny houses, you know what I'm saying? And you know, everybody's like, oh, those are so freaking cute, and you know, they conserve the energy, and I want one. I went over to her miniature humble abode, okay? I was looking around like, damn, this thing fire. I want me one of these. I'm a little bit too claustrophobic, but this thing looked nice. Until this happened. My uncle's friends, his name is Drug, but his real name Doug, but you know, he do that stuff. Like, I literally seen this man fall like 40 feet out of a tree and pop up like it was nothing. Yeah. Anyway, Drug goes to the bathroom, and everybody in the house, in the miniature humble abode, bruh, thing was cool. And then I got a whiff, and it just started getting worse and worse and worse, to the point where we had to evacuate the tiny home because it smelled like a dead animal. Because you want to know why? It's not like Drug was just, going taking shit in a normal person house. The house is small. It's tiny house. So when somebody shits in a tiny house, you're gonna know. So for anybody who is thinking for a split second, oh, the tiny houses look so nice. They look so great. Let me get one. Just know when you take a shit, everybody gonna know. They ain't no hiding that shit.